Then I will be sure that it records. Okay, so who has trouble getting on the network? Did everybody get on the network? Anybody?
How do I log into the Rose State Gmail?
That's what I'm going to do next. If you're logged into the network, everybody got this one? The log into the network. Okay, so it's spinning. The first time, oh, it's not spinning? Oh, so they need to fix this one.
Mine was the same way.
There you go.
Right, thank you. Let's say blue screening on the first day.
Yes.
Nah, good.
Oh, you don't have your student ID number? It's going to be on your schedule right there. Yeah, should be on. No, that's fine. We don't know where everything is right now. Oh, and I need to go ahead and take roll real quick, attendance real quick, because the first 2 weeks, it's real important if somebody does not show up. Oh, I already had that screen up. For AW purposes. And I'm going to go through everything slowly today, through the syllabus, through the schedule, and then we will also probably try to get our Google Drive set up, and that may be as far as we get today. Okay, this is
for the Gmail. It's just a personal thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not sad.
Yeah, if you go to Rose State's main website and go up to student logins, it'll show you how to set up all three, the D2L, the email, and your network login. There's a link there, and I'll go to it here in a minute. Let me get attendance set up here. See if I can start placing names with faces. Probably maybe remember one or two today. And okay, this is day 1, day 2, 3, session save, and day 4, save. Okay, let me go and take attendance now. Okay, so today I'm going to call out everyone's name, and if I don't call your name, please let me know. Ehab, I don't know if I'm saying it right. At least you can see the name, so then you know whether I'm calling the right thing. Jenna-Lee, okay. Chase Barlow. Okay. Rylan.
Here.
Okay. Is that right, Rylan? Is that how I said? Samuel Dunaway.
Present.
Okay. Lacadia. Is that how you say it? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for not trying to say my last name.
Jeremy Gober. Jeremy. Nathan.
Here.
Austin.
Here.
Okay. Adam.
Here.
Sean. Brant.
Here.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to try this one. Is this person here?
Yes.
Sadidric. Okay. Christopher. Okay. Reed. Reed Paul. Okay. Lewis. Okay. Jared.
Here.
Okay. Jonathan.
Here.
Matthew.
Here.
Okay. Is there anybody that I did not call your name or you don't see it up here? Okay. Let's say big class. I want to see by fall break how many. Oops, where did it go? come on. All right, so what we're going to do first is look at the syllabus, which is in D2L. So is there anyone that did not figure out how to get into their D2L? You need to know how to get into your D2L. Okay, speak. Okay, let me do this. If you want to know and aren't sure how to get into it, you can go to Rose State's homepage, and up here it says Student Login. You can click on Student Login, go down to the next section, and it gives you Oasis, which is your enrollment login, Brightspace, which is D2L, and student email, okay? So if we want to know how to get into D2L, we click here. Oh, mine took me straight to it. Okay, what it will take you to is d2l.rose.edu login page. And it's not going to because I'm logged in already. Okay, so once you get there, but let me go back to where the instructions are. Here are the instructions for logging in, and here's where help desk is. So anytime you have trouble getting into D2L, this will help you. So if I go, let me see. No, it's just going to take me there. Okay, your student login for D2L should be the same as your network login. The thing that's different is your student email is your first name hyphen last name at raider.rose.edu, okay? And if your name happens to be like mine, Donna Wilson, mine would have probably -3 or 4. So if your name is a common name, in other words, it may have a -1 or a -2 after your last name. And I can tell for you if you're having trouble finding your email. Okay, because I can look it up. Okay, so on our home page, I have starting class instructions. Read the syllabus. So if you click on the syllabus, what you'll notice is I teach my classes all as if they are online classes, because we all are in the digital age, and paper. You can still print out a syllabus here if you would like, or at home, but I don't keep stacks of them that I have to keep handing out when people lose them, because your syllabus is always going to be available right here, okay? Same with the schedule that we're going to talk about here in a minute. So on our syllabus, and I'm not sure if I updated my office hours in this one, I'll take a look at that. When they get the downstairs finished, my office will be BS 114, which is down the end of this hall on the other side of the hall. And right now, I am actually in the HE building, which is the old health sciences building way across the road there.
Right.
Yes, I'm in the same building with the Fab Lab upstairs. So my office will be there hopefully only until September 1st. But that's why I do Google Hangouts, because then I can do office hours when you email me and say, hey, can you create a Hangout? And I can get online with you. And that's what I'm going to show you. How many, has anyone in here done a Google Hangout before? Oh, you have?
No.
No. Okay, so this will be a new venture for you. It's like an online class, only we're there and can talk to each other, and I can show you my screen. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm actually recording this class. Students signed in down here, and as the semester goes on, we may have some online students participating with us. If they happen to be not on a job or in another class at this time, they might choose sometimes to come into class with us. Okay, so these are options that we're going to have, so that if you miss a class, there's no excuse for you not knowing what's going on, because it's even going to be recorded. Okay, so that's why attendance does not count against you unless you don't, and you want me to other hours working with you because all that against you. You'll find out after the first two, which are to really keep close to because of a, but maybe one absence. I think. So that's the only student that actively withdrawn, but neither will you if you just stop coming be withdrawn. That'd go if I have a lot of new students that sure you can just quit go other times and then grade, but in a college class, if you stop going and you stop turning in work, then you at the end of the semester. So if you decide you don't want to take the class anymore, I get us November something to drop the class. And if you drop it, then I don't have to give you a grade. But if you do not drop it and you just quit attending and quit turning in work, then I will have for you. Okay. So in own children, I had do that overnight. I said, why did you not drop that class when you quit going? Well, I don't know. Well, those F's are really hard to get off your telling. Okay, because even if you retake it, they don't just automatically wipe that F off. Okay, so if you decide you no longer want to take the class, please come and talk to me, and I will try to help you decide what needs to be done. Okay, and this is my email address, and I still have some students go ahead and do the @Rose without the Raider in there, and I can get those emails. It's just hard for me to check all the different emails that I have. I have them all funneled into one, even on my phone and stuff. But I want you to use this Raider one because I'm going to group all of you in a class circle on Google where this class I have separate from my other classes. Okay, and this is my office phone number. Very seldom am I there to answer it, so you're much better off to email me, okay? And I usually have a 24-hour turnaround. I try to get to them this beginning of the semester. I know I've got some online students that isn't true. I've been trying to get everything up online and had some other things going on. So anyway, I will try my best to get to those emails at least within 24 hours. Okay, course description. This course, we've had a lot of controversy about whether it should be a prerequisite to languages throughout the years. I started teaching here in '92, and this was one of the first classes, this one, Intro to Computers, C#, or not C#, it wasn't C# back then, it was C language. Those are some things I started with, and this class I found to be the most beneficial to students that want to become involved in programming languages. Because I had been programming, like I told you, for like 13 years. I programmed in COBOL, Assembler, RPG, CSCS, all of these procedural-oriented languages, but I had never had a class like this, and I had my master's in it. Because back then, the theory, and still in four-year schools it's like this, is you go in and you learn the syntax and you learn the logic all at the same time. Well, you know, when you're taking a foreign language, you already know what it is you want to speak. You just don't know the syntax for that language or the pronunciations. So what we're learning in here is how to solve problems, the things that we need to know regardless of what language we're programming in. The solving of it, the steps, whether we need sequential statements, repetition, decision statements, those are all the same. It's just how we're going to do it depends whether we're using Python, whether we're using Java, whether we're using C#. Okay, you can solve those problems in all those languages, just like you can speak and portray what you want to say in an array of languages. But what you're wanting to say is still the same. Okay, So that's what this class is really the priority, even though we're going to use Python and you're going to have to learn a little bit of Python. Our priority is when I give you a logic problem, can you solve that problem using sequential structure, using decision making, and using loops, which are called repetition. Those are the three structures that we're going to learn in this class. And if you learn those three things, you can write any program in any language. The logic is the hard part. The syntax is memorizing or knowing where the reference tools are for a specific language, okay? And that's what this course description tells you, is that's what we're going to do in here. We also will learn functions and objects, which are just these first sequential decisions and loops all lumped into modules is what those are. Okay, there are no prerequisites, and I say that knowing that there are going to be those that maybe do not have very good file handling skills, but I'm hoping that everyone in here, because most of us in today's society have had some sort of computer almost our whole lives. So that was not the case when I was growing up at all. But I actually had a different advantage in that my dad started in computers the year I was born in 1955. And he actually programmed wired boards. And the first computer he programmed was the size of this whole floor. And so he went through all of the different transitions of computers, and I got to watch that. So at 15 years old, I wrote my first program at JB Battle Uniform Company. He took me there and wrote it in COBOL on these little bitty cards. But then when I went to college, we had index cards, and every time you typed a line of code, it took one of those cards. And so when you went to compile your program, you had 3 times a night. You could only make 3 errors. That's all the times they let you run it. And a program was usually a deck of cards about this high. And if you dropped them, oh my goodness, it was terrible. Because you had to figure out what order they went in. But now, you know, we have online editors, and we even have debuggers. When I first worked at State Tax Commission, I'd get called at 1 in the morning when a program would crater. And I'd be given green bar paper. Anybody know what green bar paper is? Used to be the old printed computer, and it was continuous. And it was big old piece of paper this wide. They'd bring me a stack, and they'd say, hey, you got to find what piece of data it errored on. And you had to know binary. You had to know hexadecimal. You had to know all of that. And so now we have debug programs that show us where our error is. So it's a lot easier. And some of the people that really like to get into all that, they still can do that. You can write games and things faster, that run faster using machine language, but you don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so what I was saying by the prerequisites is that I want you to be able to organize folders on your Google Drive, place your work in folders, know where it's at, name files the way that I ask you to name them. And so that's really the only prerequisite, is that I want you to be able to store things in an organized way. Okay, so the textbook, it's free. You ever heard of that?
I found it on Google. So just copying the whole name and pasting it. It was in like the first 3 links.
Yes, and see, if you look over, I have it listed, link to it in D2L, where you can get the free PDF. But if you want the textbook, I didn't bring mine. Yes, what's your name? Matt. He has one. You got a brand new one. A lot of them are used. Oh, did you get it at the bookstore? Okay. And these are probably going to be the least expensive textbook that you ever buy. They're not very much. How much was yours?
It was $100.
You got it at the bookstore? That's a ripoff. I would take it back. You can get it online for like $20, something like that. So also, you can also get it. I can't believe there's that big of a markup. Those guys are crazy. It's also in ebook form, but when I get into D2L here in a minute, I'll show you a link to the PDF of it, which is what I'll be using in class. I do have an older copy of it like that. But these are not typical textbooks. They do not look like a textbook. And so a couple of years ago, I started using one for my HTML class, and some professors didn't like it because it wasn't boring enough, you know. So they told me I couldn't use it anymore. Well, I've been here 25 years now. I got my ring this year, so I can kind of do whatever I want. No, I'm over a lot of the curriculum decisions now. So this book, I had students really like this, the way things are presented. It doesn't have like questions at the end and test and all that. I have to make up on my own. So that's part of the reason professors had trouble with it. Okay, so here when I say required, this is if you were an online student, because we do that Google Plus. And so that's why I say that you have to have a webcam and a mic, but that's only if you are, make sure that's still recording, should be. That's only if you're doing the online. This is saying that it, better make sure that's recording here. Hold on. I'm going to be really aggravated if it doesn't again. No, it says it is. Okay. So, let me go back here to the slides. Okay, so I'm not going to read through these objectives because I'd like to be able to get into some other stuff and we will run out of time. But you can read through these. Your responsibilities, because you are in lecture class, is not as important that you check D2L, because I will every class period remind you where we're at and what your due dates are. This is more for if it's online, what you need to be able to do every day. And here is the student email, which I already showed you all how to get to that. Student Success Center, Okay, Python and the things that we're going to be, the software that we're going to be using in this class are all free. And so if you want to work on it at home and not have to come up here to these labs, you can do that, because we don't use anything that you cannot download to your computer. Okay, here is the grading scale. And I didn't spell quizzes correctly. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. Okay, we will have chapter assignments, but the chapter assignments that you work through, I will not grade those because the answers, can I see your book a second, Matt? I can call it up, but I'm gonna get to it here in a second. But in the chapter, there's these assignments. It'll have you do things, but then on the very next couple pages, it'll show you the answers to those. So that's why the chapter assignments, I do not grade, okay? But that doesn't mean that I won't be going through them some in class. Thank you. But what I'm going to grade will be at the end of every chapter. I'm going to give a quiz that's online. So you won't take it in class, and you will have, it's timed is what's the deal. And you can use your book, because if I told some people, if I said don't use your book, there'd be some would, some wouldn't. So I just say, use your book. If you can find the answers that fast, that's really what computer science is more like. You can't keep everything in your head about every language and everything that you want to know. You have to be able to know where to go to find the answers that you want. That's why things are so different than they were when I started programming. I didn't have the internet. And when I had a bug in a program, I had a rack of IBM manuals this long. I had to just go try to find it, the answers. So now you can type into Google, hey, what is the Python output statement look like? And it'll show you, you know? So to me, it's more advantageous to be able to know how to find information than it is to try to store it all up here, because we run out of space sometimes, you know, especially when you get old as I am. then you have to have notes all over the place and sticky notes. That's another thing I like about the Mac. They have all these sticky notes before Windows did. So I was having them everywhere. Okay, so we're going to have chapter quizzes. There will be 10 of those at 100 points. There's a couple of them that are worth 20 that where I put 2 chapters together. But those are basically what I call reading quizzes to see if you read the chapter, okay? They're not where you solve problems, okay? And then we're going to have 4 projects. Each project is going to look just like the same type of problem as you will have in your hands-on test that you'll take in here when I say which day. I try to schedule them, at least tell you a week in advance, so that the thing is, with hands-on tests, I do no makeups. If you can't be here that day, even if you're sick, you can miss one because this final will take the place of one of those hands-on tests if it needs to. If you score higher on this final than you do on one of these hands-on tests, then it will count twice, okay? So that's how I do makeups. You can't miss more than one or else it will end up a 0 on that one, okay? So what the hands-on tests and the projects are where it will tell me if you can actually apply the concepts that you learned in that chapter. Because that chapter, if you work those assignments and then we work through the answers to the projects, then you shouldn't have a problem with the hands-on. You'll come into the classroom, I will give you a document that looks just like a project document but a different problem, and you will do it the same way that you did the project. The same concepts will be applied, in other words. Okay? And then there will be a final. Now this is kind of like, I know the bad word math that most people don't really care for, unless there's some math degree people in here. Oh, so you like math. Okay, now you know who to come to if you have any math problems, right? Okay, so what we do in here is this class, each concept that we learn builds up on the previous. So you can't dump it after you take the quiz on it, okay? Because you have to know how to do what was in chapter 1 by the time you get to chapter 8, okay? And it will be easy. You will see that it builds. It's not like something that you memorize. It's something that you learn how to do. And so each time, just like you can't do algebra 2 without knowing how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, right? So these are things that happen in this class. That's why the final, I let it replace any one of these, because if you can do the final, then you can do one of these, okay? So everything will be covered in there. All right, any questions about the grading? All right. So I'm not going to know if you do all those chapter assignments. Yes,
Do you
Liz?
do any extra credit?
Extra credit, I can't remember if I did in this class or not. If somebody needs it and they've done all the other work, then what I can do is I can look at some of your chapter problems and see if you did them, you know, and work them out. Because sometimes the chapter assignments, you won't be able to get to work, even though it's just like what you're typing in, and you may need a little help. So what I do is I also put ones out in Evernote, which we're going to see that here in just a minute. Did that? Whenever we get closer, if people need extra credit and they're coming to class and they're doing everything they can, then we will see what we need to do. Because I'm not about, I mean, if everybody in here made an A, I wouldn't care. I just want to know that you understand the material. Because you can't do the next level of programming without doing well in here, okay? So grades are don't show really what you know or don't know sometimes. Okay, and I see I have really good students in here. You would not believe how many students I've had in the last few years come to class with headphones in their ears. Now, what I would say to them is, if you want to take the class online, then you can wear your headphones all the time. But when you come to lecture class, don't have your headphones in. And now when you take the test, I just don't like headphones in here. And if you have a phone call. Sometimes that happens to me, and it's emergency, but I don't talk here in the classroom. If you need to take a phone call, please leave the class. That's common sense, right? But you wouldn't believe how many it's not. So as long as I'm not going to grab your phone or get onto you if it rings by accident, because I've been known to forget to turn mine off, all right? So we're all technology people these days. We all stay connected as best as we can. Let's see. All right. So any questions about the syllabus before we go on? No. Okay. The next thing that we're going to look at, as we go back to the home page, the next thing it tells us is about the PDF. Now, the free ebook is right here. If you click on the free ebook link, it gives you where you can download for free, or you can also get the paper book right here. You can buy it, okay? And here's all the other Head First books. There's tons of them. So if you like and you learn easy this way, you can download all these other free ones also. Next class period, we take script programming, or not here, in my second 8 weeks. Are any of you enrolled in script right now? No? How many of you are going to take script? Is anybody going to take it next? Okay. They will do the first part of that course is all Python, and then they will do other scripting with it, but Python is the one that they'll start with. And they won't use this book, though. I forget what book. It's a new book that we're using. All right, so here's the place that you can get the book, either for just the PDF, if you're okay with that. I have no problem. You don't have to have the hard copy. That's totally up to you. And I can also, I have the PDF right here. Come on. Let's see. Oh. And this is what I will be using in class. And see, it's all right here. So we can go through each chapter like this online. So that's how we'll be, when I lecture, that's how I'll cover it using that. Oh, no, I don't want that. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. The last thing, oh, and you do notice here I say, because the textbook is free, if you do not want, even if you want to get a paper one, you should not be late starting the class. You should be able to do all your reading before you come to class next time, because it's free. It's already there. All right. If you want to wait on a paperback book, that's fine, but you still can call this one up to do your assignments now. Okay. Has anybody ever heard of Evernote? Yeah. That is, you have a Mac, so you may have used it, but now it's available, or it has been for several years, on all OS computers. And it's free to download. I have a premium version, which lets me do a few other things. But I started using it before, like, there were other note things, because it was cross-platform, and I could call it up on the Windows or anywhere. So to me, it's a lot easier for me to keep the schedule updated. And also throughout the year when I'm teaching classes, things I read or something I might want, I can just put it right there in that folder, and I have it for when that class comes up. So I've used it for quite a few years now, and I use it in all of my classes to schedule things out week by week. And so if you click here, you should get fall 15-16 week. This is our schedule, and I'm only added the first week right now because each semester some things change a little bit, and so I put it up week by week depending upon where that particular class is at. And so this is our schedule for this week, and like if I want to go over and change something, it immediately updates your schedule. Okay, so anytime you can just bookmark this and not have to, and you or what you're missing. And what this tells you is some of the same things that's in the, let me see if no, I didn't even put that. Okay, so this tells you what we are going over today, and this also your Google Drive folder, which is what we're going to do. You'll notice that this same Evernote is for my online class and my lecture class. So if there are things that seem like maybe they don't apply to you, ask me. It may be for the online, and I forgot to preface it with that. But as far as the work you do will be the same because they're both 16-week classes, okay? In fact, when they're online, they still have to come online with me in a Google Hangout to take their test. So I get to watch them take their test because that's the only time that I know that it is that person doing it. Projects, I let you work together if you want to, but I know whether you understand it when you get to the test because it's just you on the test. Okay, Lucid Chart is what I use in class for flow charting. And we only do flow charting at the very beginning of the semester because it's something that I need to cover just in case you were to get on a job where they required that as part of your documentation. But most students prefer pseudocode. I always have one or two in the class that end up liking flowcharting all the way through because you are required to do one or the other when you do your projects and your tests because I want to see that you have thought about the problem before you try to code it in Python, okay? So pseudocoding is more English-like, just saying this is how I'm going to solve the problem. Okay, these are the steps. One thing that we're going to do is with flowcharting or pseudocoding, you establish your variable names first, and they need to be stated in your pseudocode, and you'll understand that as we go through, okay? You can also use a flowcharting program called Visio, which is only available for Windows, and it is free at Rose. You can download this. It's called the MSDNAA Alliance that we have. There's a lot of Windows software that you have available to you free. Okay. Even they have, I believe we have a login now for micro apps. So for the suite of Word, Excel, Access, those. Okay. So if you should have gotten in your Raider email a login to the MSDNAA, your user login and sign on to be able to get to that site where you could download the free software, okay? They even have the operating systems out there, all the Windows operating systems. Yes?
What's the password for the Raider?
Your Raider is going to be your birth date. And it should tell you that at that one login where I had you. Okay, so for Lucid Chart, that's what I'll be using in class to demonstrate flowcharting because it works on any platform, whereas Visio does not work on a Mac. But Lucid Chart is free on the internet for my classes. If you get an invite, if you go out to lucidchart.com and log in, you get a short trial. But if you email me and say, hey, I want to use Lucid Chart, then I send you an invite and you have access to Lucid Chart to do flow charting. And we'll do that. We'll probably get to flow charting next week, probably not by Thursday. Then here is the link to download Python to your computer at home. It's already done here, so you don't have to do it here. It's already downloaded, and also the interface. This is the version. When it comes up here, it'll ask you what version you want to download. This is the version 3.4, and I believe 0.2 is the latest. If there's a newer one, you can download it, but make sure it's the 3 version, not the 2, because some people still work in the 2 version. Okay. Now, before Thursday, I want you to read the README section, the intro, and chapter 1, and that's where we'll start on Thursday, is going over that, okay? Okay, when you get to page 6 in your textbook, let me look at this. I'll call that back up. There is Okay, let me make it a little bigger here. Page. Go page 6. Oh, I know what I did. View. That's not page navigation. There it is. Enable scrolling. Okay. So there's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Here's page 6, which tells you using idle. And let me see if I can make this bigger. Hold on here. Where is the zoom? View, zoom. Oh, I lost it. Marquee, exercise into page. Well, they've changed my dynamic zoom. Let's see. It's not letting me zoom. Come on. Let's find. Okay. There we go. Okay. So what this page talks about is how to use idle. And that is the interface that we'll be coding in. Is called idle. And it lets you, it tells you here what the window looks like. And the thing that you'll notice about this textbook is it writes notes over here to you. And it says, if this is what comes up, the Python program is color-coded within idle edit window. This color coding is referred to as syntax highlighting. Be sure to enter the code in exactly as it appears here, and don't forget those quotation characters. Now, the first thing it has you do is type in one and see if you can make it run. And we'll do that on Thursday, but you can do it at home if you want to try it, because you have to get Python downloaded, and then you will be able to run a program. Type in code. Okay, the code is actually on page 3 that they have you where you can see it a little better. Right there somewhere. See, here's like the pseudocode where they wrote it out. And then here is where they actually type in the code for the program.
So idle is part of Python?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And if you go on your PC right now and you go to Start and All Programs, you'll see a Python folder. And if you open the folder, you'll see idle. Okay?
What if we're on Windows 7, or Windows 8?
What about Windows?
How would we find it there if we don't have them? Did you search for it, search Python?
Yeah, did you download it already?
Yes. But I don't
You
have
probably
idle.
have to execute.
Oh, okay, never mind. Here we go. I do have idle.
Okay. Yeah, it should be inside that folder. Oh, that's terrible. They're supposed to get my HDMI cable, and this will be a little clearer up there. Okay, so let me go back here. And this also, I have recorded a tutorial here. Actually, I don't think this is one that I recorded. I think this is one that shows you how idle works out at YouTube. So if you want to install it and have a little bit of trouble, you might watch that tutorial. And this is telling you what we did today is we discussed the syllabus, and I told you what the expectations are, and chapter 1 exercises we'll look at in class on Thursday. And what I try to do at the end of each week, in summary, the steps, the things that you need to have completed. And like I was telling you, these are things that I will only know that you've completed once you try to do projects. Because if you don't complete the exercises or these chapter things, then you won't be able to do the project. So I don't have to grade them to know if you did them, okay? So, and some people, you know, they may be able to do it without doing all the exercises. That's up to you. I just need to know that you understand what was covered in that chapter. Chapter 1, also, I think it's chapter 1, gives you kind of an overview of everything we're going to learn in detail in the semester. So, like, it has loops in it and decisions, and it has everything in it that we're going to spend more detailed time on as we go through the semester, okay? All right, so there's one other thing I think we were going to do today, and then I'll let you go. Is show you the Google Drive. Yes. What did somebody say something
I
else?
just said the Google Drive.
Yeah, the Google Drive. Okay, so let me go back also and make sure that you know where the content is located over here, where you can get the syllabus also at any time. If this goes away, course info has the Evernote schedule link and the syllabus in it. Okay, so let me go to Google then. And if you are logged in through your Gmail, it will show up here. Now, it only shows you if you put your picture there, I believe. But this little grid will show you all the applications that you can use inside Google. Okay, so once you log in, like you saw me log in the beginning, like if I say I logged out, I don't want to sign out because of Google Plus, but when you sign in, you should be able to see these apps here. And you can go to your Gmail this way, but what we're going to go to is our Google Drive. So when I go to my Google Drive, I'm going to have a whole lot in there. You should have nothing unless you put something in there. Is everybody able to get it? Now yours won't look like this because that's all my stuff from last semester. Okay, Google Drive should be empty. That's right. And the thing about Google Drive is that you can get it up on any of your devices. Okay, you can get your Google Drive up on your phone, on a laptop, if it's a smartphone, on a iPad or tablet. You can work with Google Drive anywhere. All right, so if you are going to do what was required, you would click on the new button here and then click on folder. And then where it says new folder name, put CIT1113 and then your initials. And then click create. And it should create that folder. Now, you notice how all these folders are solid. Now, I want to show you, y'all just wait right there and don't do anything to yours for a second, and let me show you. Once you share your folder with me, your folder will look like this, and I'm going to show you how to share it. You see there's like a little person inside there. Okay, so once you share it with me, it will look like that, and then you will have folders inside there. One's for projects, one is for test. Okay, so let's go back to the one that you created. Here's created, or I created. Right click on it. This is one way. There's more than one way to do it, okay? This is one way to do it. Then click up there where it says share. And when it says people, you want to put my email address in there. dwilson@raider.rose.edu, and it may come up. Okay. Be sure it's not a Gmail, because I do have a Gmail, and some students were setting theirs up in my Gmail account and I couldn't find them. Okay, so be sure it says @raider.rose, and I think it has, the other one has a different picture. Do you have a question? No? Okay. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so then click the send button, and I'm going to get all of you all's requests to add it. Pardon? That's right. I got a lot of them from the online too that I haven't set up yet. Then I'm going to put you all in a specific folder where I can find this class. Now, so your folder now should have the little person in it. Now, the idea is that you can make subfolders inside there, and you don't have to share them. Anything that you make inside, you don't have to go in and share it again. So, like if I look at that students that I was looking at, he created another folder. So he opened up his main folder, Then he went over to new again and created one called projects. And once you do that, it will automatically be shared if it's inside a shared folder. Okay, so then you don't have to share every single assignment and folder that you do. If you do this right, then that's the only one that you have to share. Okay, so let me see if I've gotten some emails, and I'll go in and create. First, I'm going to create a new folder called this section is 8214. Okay, now I've got that. Okay, so now I'm going to go over with shared with me. There's Matt, so I can take his and I can say add to my drive, and I want to add it to this new folder, so I moved it there. Branch, share, oops, add to my drive, add to here, move. Acadia, I see yours. I'm going to go through here so that you'll know which ones I got. Move. Christopher, add to my drive. This one, move. Lewis, add to my drive. Move. Nathan, move. Jenna Lee. You guys are good. I don't usually get all of them the first time. Add to my drive. Move. Chase. I'm going to see if it'll let me do more than one. Okay, because there's Samuel, Jonathan, Adam, Jared, Ryland, Zedric, Reed, Robert. Okay, let's see if it'll let me.
You skipped one.
I did?
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay. Add to my drive. Ooh, let's see. 9 folders. Okay, let me see if they're all in there now. There's our class. There's our class. Okay, see if your name is not in here, then I'll know. Adam, Brant, Chase, Christopher, Jenna Lee, Jeremy, Jared, Jonathan, Lacadia, Lewis, Matthew, Nathan, Ryland, Robert, Reed, Samuel, Sean, Zedric. All right, anybody I didn't get yours? Reed, yeah, yours is there. Okay, so everybody's folder is in there, right? So that means you can start putting work in there. No, you don't have any work that you have to put in there yet till projects, okay? So but that way everybody's on the same page, got everything set up. And so you all are free to go. If you have any questions, I'll be here a few minutes, okay? And see you Thursday.